Hi, I'm Jeff Dial. Welcome to another edition of Footprints in American History. Now, this is going to be a little bit briefer video than some of the other ones I'm planning to release. However, I thought it would be interesting to talk to you guys about. Now, a lot of people are probably not familiar with the Atlanta area, so I will explain a little bit about it. First of all, just to let you know, I love Atlanta. If I were to live in Atlanta, I would be eating at the Varsity every night and probably going to Braves game every chance I got. But if you drive through there, one of the things you're going to notice is there's a lot of streets named Peachtree through there. In fact, there's 71 streets with the name Peachtree in them. So you might wonder, well, where does this name come from? Glad you asked. They think that it goes back as far as early as 1812. Now, what it was that about 30 miles from the city, there was a hill. At the top of this hill, there was a giant pine tree that a lot of the Creek Indians used to like going up on because it gave you a great view of the surrounding areas. Now, this tree had a lot of pitch to it, so what happened was it became known as the Peachtree, hence the name Peachtree. Another account of the name Peachtree comes from the local Cherokees who named Peachtree Creek after their village named Pacanahuli, which translates to standing peach tree, although it is believed by some to actually translate to standing pitch tree. Pitch trees are pine trees that have a sticky resin or pitch to them. It is a smelly form of sap that makes them that way. Since Peachtree Creek bore that name, it became that much more famous, as we will see in just a moment. As I stated before, there are 71 streets with the name Peachtree in the Atlanta area. So the question to be answered is whether the peach trees that can be found throughout Georgia are the reason, or the pine trees that clearly the local tribes recognize throughout the area as pitch trees. Moving along, here are some examples of streets with the name Peachtree in them. Peachtree Creek Road, Peachtree Parkway, Old Peachtree Road, Peachtree Street, Peachtree Valley Road, Peachtree Plaza, and Peachtree Battle Avenue is named for the famous battle when Sherman's army crossed Peachtree Creek, burning the city down shortly afterward. Much of Atlanta's history can be tied to the Civil War, which was why Sherman's march was so significant. At the time, Atlanta was the industrial capital of the Deep South, known for its industry and railroads, making it a major target for the Union. Now, anyone who's ever spent time in the Atlanta area will probably notice there are also many roads around the area with the word ferry in them. Many of these roads have names such as Paces Ferry Road, Paces Ferry Road, McGinnis Ferry Road, Nesbitt Ferry Road, Johnson Ferry Road, Baker's Ferry Road, and so on. The reason so many of these roads got their names was because in the early days of Atlanta, in the 1820s and the 1830s, a major challenge for people in the area was crossing the Chattahoochee, known locally as the Hooch, or one of the other rivers. The waters were often too deep in areas, or the current was often too strong to build a bridge. As a result, there were many ferries that offered crossing services to help locals traverse these rivers and streams. There were also many mills in the area. After the Civil War, many bridges replaced those ferries. Many of these ferry operators also had trading posts to do business with the locals. We are going to talk about two of those important ferries whom these roads are now named after. Powers Ferry Road was named after James Power, a local plantation owner who started his ferry in 1835. It ran until 1903 when a bridge was built to replace it. Paces Ferry Road was named after Hardy Pace, a local ferryman, miller, and one of the founders of Atlanta. When General Sherman began his famous invasion of Atlanta, his generals managed to often flank the outmanned Confederates until they reached the Vining Station area, where the Southerners had created a pontoon bridge across the river near Paces Ferry. The Confederates had took rail barricades and used them in resisting the Northern Army until they were driven away. In the meantime, the Southerners attempted to destroy the pontoon bridge by burning it. When that did not succeed, they cut the mooring ropes, causing it to float into the current on their side. It soon became obvious to one of the Union generals that attacking the opposing army across the river was going to be a challenge. He ordered his troops onto higher ground near the Chattahoochee River and waited for federal pontoons to be brought in. Days after this July 5th, 1864 battle, the Union was able to cross the river north of Paces Ferry and also near Powers Ferry. It should be noted that many Union soldiers did cross over also on the Powers Ferry. Also, as a point of interest, I would like to point out that Hardy Pace's house became the headquarters for Union General Howard during part of the Atlanta campaign. It also became a hospital for wounded soldiers. Also, near many of these roads, you can still see some of the original bridge structures that replaced the ferries after the Civil War. And Atlanta is not the only city where you can see roads whose names reflect the local history. In fact, we will be covering a story similar to the Salem witch trials that I uncovered researching a road name in Virginia Beach. You won't want to miss that story. Coming up, the new normal. The story how one man with a dream in Virginia impacted scores of lives of former slaves and Native Americans, including Booker T. Washington, and how that dream led to the creation of thousands of educational institutions throughout the South in the 1800s. You won't want to miss this story. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you really do enjoy it, please like, share the video if you can. If you want, subscribe to the channel and click on that little bell on the upper right hand corner, and that will send you notifications every time we post videos. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.